Tiananmen Tim is showing why Democrats are failing to rebuild their party after getting smoked by Trump in November. The failed VP candidate is now doubling down on DEI.
Our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is. We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, "You right, we're proud of these policies. We're going to put them in, and we're going to execute them."
The former coach didn't stop there, sprinkling in some identity politics as well.
To all the young people who are here, I just pause for a moment and look around and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a regular basis in this country, but not this group that's here.
All right, Jessica, in exactly what way could doubling down on DEI and woke and redefining it contribute or energize those marginalized parties who didn't vote Democrat?
In no way whatsoever. I don't think there's any Democrat that's been thinking about how we win in 26 or 28 that agrees with what Walz is saying. And it just makes for clips that can be aired in our face, which I don't really enjoy as someone who will probably have to watch the most of those clips as we head into election season. The truth is that Democrats are winning elections with moderate candidates. The Blue Dogs are overperforming, 5 points over. Far left progressives are underperforming. And this isn't helping at a moment where actually we're building some momentum. Like Elise Stefanik would be UN ambassador if the Republicans felt good about what's going on. But she has to go back to her district. They're looking at internal polling from the Florida special election in the 6th district where Mike Walz was. It was a Trump plus 30. The internal polling shows that the Democrat there, Josh Weil, is up 3. And we just flipped a state Senate seat in Pennsylvania that was a Trump plus 15. So those are all places where we can win if you have a moderate message, and immigration, I think, is the #1 place that you have to make sure that you do.
You know, Jesse, Trump's approval is the highest it's ever been, and Republicans are now overwhelmingly supporting him. I think it's 91% of the base. And he's up 9 points with black adults since the first term, 15 Hispanic adults, 6 young adults. He's more popular than ever, even more popular now than he was in November.
He's even more popular with Jessica. I mean, Jessica used to hate him, and now she respects him. And you can see the way he's respected more when he answers questions from the press. Remember the first term? They just accused him of being a traitor and a racist all day. And now they're like, Mr. President, what is your policy vis-a-vis Ukraine? Like, they're legitimate respecting him now. Now, Tampon is acting like the country would have loved being invaded if Democrats had just described the invasion differently. If they had said they're just neighbors coming over to mow our lawns and bring tacos, the country would have been like, you know what? Let them all in. It's like DEI was a great product. We just didn't have the right commercial. Like, Democrats should have brought in Don Draper and be like, DEI, American as apple pie. Cut to Tom Brady throwing touchdowns to homeless veterans and transgender. Cut to an interracial couple kissing on the beach. Like, that's what they think they could have done to sell this. It's all sales. And I don't like the fact that he's putting down old white guys. Yes, we can't dance. Yes, we get nervous at airports. Yes, some of our decisions have been a little bit bad, but we have done a lot for this country. He's kind of like Doug Emhoff, I'm going to push my wife here. This guy, Tampon, lets his wife order for him at dinner. He's that guy. And you know what he orders? Soup.
Does he drink it through a straw?
He drinks it through a straw.
All right, Sandra. I mean, what about the fact that even CNN now is saying he's more popular than he was at any point in time, and the largest share of Americans in decades believe the country's on the right track. So, I mean, it's just beyond him.
Not many people are watching that network right now, but I can tell you from clips that I've watched that there is shock in the reporter and the anchor's faces when they have to report that news, because it is indeed in the case. I just want to stand up for the state of Louisiana and the men down there. They can dance, they can cook, they
they
can do
eat
all
soup?
those things. And
jambalaya.
gosh darn, they eat soup. It's called gumbo. All right, so I was just noticing the contrast with Tim Walz on that stage making these points, the contrast to what we were just seeing with these strong, smart men sitting with Elon Musk last night in that interview, and what they are doing for this country and putting country first. And as the Daily Beast put it, Tim Walz has a bad case of main character syndrome. I mean, he makes it all about himself. I think the last time I was on this show, we were watching him in this video show how manly he was, walking around in a field with a shotgun, carrying it like a baby, inappropriately so. I wrote this down as you were talking, though, Judge, and as you were leaning in. Trump's more popular right now than any moment in this presidency and his previous presidency. You look at polling on the direction of the country, that is on the rise. People are feeling more optimistic about the future in this country. And you've got Tim Walz, who thinks it's a good idea to double down on woke and what didn't work.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. Well, you think about it, Greg.
I'm trying to think. First, I must correct something I said in the A block.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I said Jesse was smart.
No, you didn't.
I misspoke. I said 1.5% of federal workers were released
Yeah.
when it was 0.15, and that is a big deal. That's a difference of like 10.
Don't ask me.
Tenfold.
I'm not smart.
You know, here's my question: Is Tim Walz gaining any traction since the election? Who is he? And more to the question, who was he talking to there? Like, do you ever wonder what his audience was? Is it like these remaining wokesters in the dying legacy media? Has anybody told him Joy Reid is gone? He's like a high school guidance counselor trying to be cool with the non-binaries during recess, but he's still preaching the false prophet. He's like the false prophet of identity politics, you know, telling everybody that they're just a sum of their intersectional, you know, parts, when in fact, if he just acted like a human being, he'd be way better off. But then he contradicts himself. He's all for identity politics, and then he comes out and he goes, "These the worst thing are old white men, but not me." You know, he's basically saying it's not. I'm different. Those all. But wait a minute. You should be in the box. If you created this box, you can't just step out of the box and say, "Oh, I'm not like them." If you say we're all old white men are bad, you're bad too. You should resign. You should resign from your office. Make some room for a black lesbian. You know, it's about time for a black lesbian governor of whatever state, Minnesota. I still don't know what he is. We were told he was a new breed of masculine male, so confident in his manhood, he could put tampons in a boy's room.
Beto O'Rourke's in the audience if you see him there.
You know, I thought that looked like him.
men do weird stuff like this with their hands.
Yeah, what is Beto up to?
What is Beto up to?
We don't care.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.